Alright, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is September 19, 2021. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. How you doing, Lewis?
I am tired as F.
Dude, I can relate. After work, I took a long nap, and I did not want to get back up, but I made it here on time. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I know, right? I am tired. Like, seriously. The only reason I'm up is because of this, and if not, I'll probably be passed out of my bed after, like, dinner or something. Like, good thing I had dinner. But, you know, it is what it is.
You'll get a nice nap after the podcast. We're good to go.
Nap? Dude, I'm sleeping until tomorrow.
Fair.
But we're here once again to talk about all things Pokemon Go related news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as you do. Let's remind everybody that we are part of the Professor Network. Please check us out, professornetwork.com/Purified Podcast. Wonderful people to work with. They released our latest podcast just recently, and it's always a good one. It's always a good one. All right, Chris, let's recap. It's been a interesting week. Plus, we also had Community Day, Asha Community Day today. So let's recap Asha real quick before we get into our shinies and handos.
All right.
I guess we can all do it all together since basically it's the same, but you know. So let's go ahead and get it going. What you got for me, Chris?
Okay. Are we talking Com Day first, or are we talking all of it together?
I guess we can just combine it because in the end of the day, I have both to talk about anyway. So.
Okay. I will say right off the bat, I didn't play like a lot of Oshawott today, because I had a lot to do at work, and then after work I was like,
Nope.
do I really want to grind Oshawott? I don't know. The triple XP was dope, especially since we're both not at level 50, so we definitely all the XP we can get is beautiful.
Yep.
But I was able to get one shiny Oshawott. So, good to go there, you know.
Yeah, we got it. We got the whole family right there, you know.
Oh, yeah, perfect. It was
the Shanda, right?
Oh, for sure. No, sadly. I had my dream. I had a... Surprisingly, I forgot I had this. I had like a rank 5 Great League Samurott already.
Ooh.
So if he's any good in the future, there he is. I don't think he's gonna really outclass Empoleon though, unless that Fury Cutter makes him relevant against a few Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know. It really depends on, because Empoleon is just up there being a Steel type too. You know, it's like
that typing's insane. Yeah,
just giving it that extra edge. Samurai, unfortunately, is just a pure water type, so it's not that he can actually get to that point. So it really will depend. I can probably see some, stats and relevance in some metas, but it would really be fortune to it if it's actually becoming something similar. It's like, let's say they do the original, 14 types, and then they just ban like, certain things like fairies and steels, and then maybe, has almost close to the same stats at that point.
Yeah, at least he's not like getting beat up by fighting types. That's one of the things I find interesting.
Yeah, especially because Ultra and it has like an insane amount of fighting types. It's like dominant fighting types half the time.
Yeah, I got I did get one for Ultra League too, but am I gonna build one? Probably not. I just like to be prepared. Other than that, I don't know if I. Oh yeah, no. I think I only got like one shiny.
No, one shiny before that.
I got a few. Okay. I guess I got a shiny Azelf. And then after that, I was able to get a shiny Shadow Sneasel.
Sneezy.
Sierra flirting. And then
don't let True Inferno talk you into it,
And then after that, I was able to get a shiny Pidgey again, which was really cool. You know, you see all these Pidgeys spawned around. You're like, when am I gonna get another shiny? Well, there we go. Okay, perfect.
I wish.
What you got?
What did I get? Good question. Let's start with the Hondos. I did get interesting amount of Hondos this week. Definitely. Okay. So right after the podcast on last week, I actually checked my recent because I was running an instance at the time. So I was like, trying to catch as many things as possible. And I got a Hondo Croconaw out of the instance, out of the one in podcast. I should have checked it like right before the podcast or right after the podcast or before the podcast. I don't know. But I got that. And then, as you guys know, the Uxie, Mesprin, and Absol have been coming back or have come back. And on my second raid, since its return, I got the Hondo Uxie. And I was like, yes. One more Hondo to add to the decks, especially a legendary. Can't go wrong with that. I hatched a Hondo Drifloon. This is my very first Hondo Drifloon. I was like, okay, cool. But it doesn't max out on the 2500 for Ultra League anymore. At least at level 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say not for 50. If you're really going bulky.
Yeah. Then after that, I actually got 2 Hondo Oshawods during Com Day. I already have one way before any of Com Day relations happened, so I did get my 3. I get my Hondo family. One of them was a call out from the community, and the other one, I actually caught it out of my own instance. So I was like, sweet. Because I was trying to find it for my friend too, and he couldn't find it. So I was like, yes.
Don't mind if I do. Holy cow.
Yeah, so I'm happy. I got the family. The summer is somewhere in the bottom of the Hondos anyway, so it's like somewhere around there. As for shinies, today specifically, I got 34 shiny Oshawods. That's mostly because I was grinding the experience, so whenever someone pops up, I was like, okay, cool. My biggest one, I think, is a 93. No, a 96. Okay. 14, 15, 14. So that went straight to a Samurott shiny. I did also get a 93 that went into a D-Wand. So I'll leave it at that, just because I like it that way. And then, of course, the other shinies are there. I also got a Ultra League Rebellant rank 1 Samurott. So I do have a perfect for Ultra League rank 1. Love it. Maybe
that looks so clean at 2500.
I know, right? I just I saw that, I was like, yes, give it to me. Of course, I evolved it right away and got Hydro Cannon on it just because Com Day, of course. But either aside from that, I think I was actually a pretty good haul. Now, as for shinies, also there is a couple of shinies I got before Community Day. That was funny though. I don't know. Did I tell you guys about this one, or was it actually last week? It was actually last week. Okay, so I went grocery shopping and I go plus a Fletchling and a Terriorsa shiny within 2 minutes apart each other. What? Then another shiny cast form, regular cast form, normal cast form, not the rainy one, which I wish I could get. I actually got that from my daily spawn shiny, and that's actually pretty nice. And then of course I did do Mespring Raid Hour with the graphic designer Couple of Gaming. They were hosting their Mesprints, and I got a shiny Mesprint. So I got one out of the 3 so far. You also got one of the 3, so now we're just waiting for the other 2 eventually.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you are parts of the world listening to the podcast, join our Discord. We would love to raid any regional legendary Pokemons out there just to see if we can get the shiny. Anytime you guys want to, just go ahead and go over. I want to say I also went over the 1,000 shiny mark. I have 1,017 shinies in my collection. I should have a little bit more, but I did do a lot of cleanup before GoFest 2019. So I know that I cleaned up a lot of the shinies then. And I was like, I'm sad now. But anyways.
Also, yeah, how many did we trade to like Sword and Shield?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of them
And
too.
whatever the other one's called, Home.
Home, Pokemon Home. Yes, Pokemon Home. I also want to say real quick that we did reach 4,000 downloads in our podcast services feed. Thank you so much, guys,
Yay.
for always listening to us every single week. Even if I'm late on the podcast sometimes, and I'm just like, why do I do this to myself? But it's been a nice little ups and downs when it comes to this. Make sure you listen to the latest podcast. This one will hopefully be up pretty soon after the podcast is over, but we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, that is my haul. That is everything I got so far. So let's go ahead and get into our research topics of the day. We only got one piece of news and one miscellaneous news, but let's go ahead and talk about what we are coming into fruition for next week's events, Chris.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking at the picture, and I didn't know I needed some of these Pokemon, to be honest. But yeah, it looks like Furfrou and a few other costume Pokemon are going to be coming to Pokemon Go for Fashion Week. And yeah, if you're into fashion, there you go. If you don't like costume Pokemon, I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this event.
So there's going to be a lot to unravel on here, but let's go ahead and go over the news, exactly what it is. First and foremost, let's go ahead and look at the picture. The picture actually shows all the custom Pokemon that are going to be available throughout the event. Aside from Furfrou being the brand new Pokemon in Pokemon Go, all of the other three will be shiny available in the wild, some of them in raids, and some are differently. So the most number one shiny, it's of course the, what's the name? The little horsey one?
Blitzel?
The what?
Blitzel?
Blitzel, yes. So Blitzel will be shiny. Of course, it will be a costume shiny. So once it's available shiny, it will be available later. So that's when it is. When it comes down to it, it looks pretty cool. I don't know why Sneasel looks like he's about to poetic.
I think he's going to critique whatever you say, make you feel bad about yourself, and then he'll start snapping.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like he's like the one guy that goes into like one of those kind of things and just like snaps and just like makes some kind of poetic kind of stuff,
Slam
and everybody
poetry,
and then
yeah.
everybody goes like click 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 like that. It's like okay, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it looks dope. I will say that Blitzel is the only one that I'm not a huge fan of.
Blitzel is is a
Honestly,
gentleman,
it's
okay? Blitzel is a gentleman for sure. So
Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And then Butterfree has a bow, just little tiny bow. Now, some people were pointing out why didn't actually just go ahead and give them the scarf that Ash gave them on the first season of Pokemon, and we're like, missed opportunity right there, y'all. Missed opportunity. So yeah,
Where's the bow lappers too? Where's that hiding?
they switch it up. They gave you a different type of bow.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so this is how the event is going to work out. So Furfrou, the Poodle Pokemon, is making his Pokemon Go debut during the Fashion Week event, along with these many other of his forms. As you guys don't know, Furfrou has many types of forms, and you might be wondering how is that going to work? Well, we're about to let you know exactly what it means. So the event starts on Tuesday, September 21st at 10 a.m. until Tuesday, September 28th at 8 p.m. local time. The features we got: Furfrou will be making his Pokemon Go debut, of course, and we'll also have a new form change mechanic applied into Pokemon Go. We'll definitely go over that in just a moment, but let's go ahead and tell you exactly how the forms are going to be available for us in Pokemon Go. So first and foremost, natural form is going to be available as a wild global spawn. And I think this is like the normal form that you see on the picture anyways.
Bad head looking thing.
I know, right? Matron Trim will be available form change globally. And then Dantif Trim will also be a form change globally. So you can change to these forms anytime, anywhere in the world. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky because the next few forms that we're going to mention definitely going to be part in other regions that you may know or may not be. I don't know how to say that name. Debutant trim?
Debutante?
Debutante, I know, right?
Debutante? I don't know.
Debutant trim. Okay, we'll figure it out eventually. It will be available form change in the American, so it will be our change form. Diamond trim will be available form change in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Interesting. Star trim will be available change form in the Asia Pacific region. Then we have Lorraine trim.
That sounds right.
Available as a change form in France. Oh ho ho ho. Kabuki trim available as a change form in Japan. I love your reaction on that one. Sorry. Pharaoh trim will be available form change in Egypt, and then the heart trim. Well, we'll stay tuned for that type of trim. Actually, they don't tell us specifically. Although there will be a speculation at this point that the heart trim will probably be a Valentine's Day exclusive trim for your fur.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Plus maybe the shiny, but you never know because the shiny is like a black shiny, I think.
Yeah, I think fur shiny is amazing, and as soon as that shiny comes out, somebody's gonna be trying to get all the different forms shiny too.
Oh lord, the collection.
I'm just gonna do one and done. That thing's evil. I can't get that many.
Yeah, well, I don't think I can go to all of these places and just like change the form to it, So,
I mean, you're gonna have to ask people for all of these at GoFest or something.
Well, so the differences between this and something like is like a the Sheldos or something like that, or Basculin or something like that, is that this is just a form change. It's not going to be a dex entry or something similar to it. So it's not going to cost you like the special tray to get to those forms. So I feel like it's possible if if you know where you're going, or well, at least who you're meeting.
Cheap.
Yeah, so it will be interesting in the end of the day. Everybody will have a 4/4 anyway, so it's not like it's the baddest thing in the world, but I don't know if they're going to change some kind of the mechanic in trading when it comes to the different forms of fur. So we'll see how that will be, of course. We also have to look forward to Butterfree, Sneasel, and Blitzel wearing fashionable customs for the first time. Custom Pokemon to start during the last year's Fashion Week event like Smushum, Curlia, Shinx, and Croconaut will be returned as well. Shinx, I don't care. The next part.
More.
No. The next part of the Season of Mischief special research story, Mr. Mischief, will also unlock and of course help Professor Willow to study up more of how Pokemon like Furfur and other might surprise you change their appearance. You better not tease me too badly there, Niantic, but complete special research to earn an encounter with the beautiful voice Myoletta. If you have already accessed the Pokemon Go Fest 2021 exclusive special research, completing the special research will instead earn you Myoletta candy. So this is, of course, the global release of Myoletta, which we're expecting at this point. Mostly because it's how they always do things with mythical Pokemon, aside from Mew, because Mew was a release with the mechanic itself. But in that sense, it's time for everybody to get their Myolettas, and of course all the hundos that are going to be out there that we didn't get.
This is good for the people that want to build one for Master League, or just get that extra candy to level it up to 40 or 50. If you just want to build one for no reason.
I know, but still, it's just I don't know. We'll see.
Extra candy's always dandy.
Always. Fashionable trainers with fashionable Pokemons and more will be appearing in Pokestops throughout the event. Challenge these trainers to earn rewards. So they're bringing back the whole Kanto celebration trainers. Now, they didn't do a contest this year or something similar to it to and show your character into the game and be part of the game itself and things like that. So I believe they're just going to use the same ones from the Kanto celebration. What do you think, Chris?
You're talking like
the trainers that we used to battle during the Kanto event that were just annoying as hell to do.
I mean, I wouldn't be completely against it. I'm kind of just hoping they let you. Oh wait, no, yeah, no. I completely. You're right. Unless they have like some new characters they bring in, that are kind of looking like that Sneasel.
I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't think they'll reward you with Pokemon encounters. They're probably just going to reward you with Pokeballs and things like that, which is good because after Community Day, we want to restock. So it's not a bad thing either way. But I don't know. That's some of those rewards when it comes down to it. We also have a time research to earn encounters. Whew, I am tired. With fashionable event team Pokemons, you can also earn a exclusive Furfur Week avatar as a final reward. The Furfur will be available for purchase in the shop after the event is over, beginning on Wednesday, September 29. So might as well do it for free instead of actually paying coins for it. So
Okay, Furfur fans. Okay.
I don't know. People are saying that it's like Super Saiyan hat.
Oh really?
Because the hair and things like that. So I'll be like Super Saiyan Pikachu. It's like
Oh my gosh. It does look like that. Or like that character that's like a demon, Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, yeah, I know, right? The demon Inuyasha.
Look like that. Yeah.
Half demon. Remember that.
Oh, I bet. I just made a lot of people mad.
Oh, the anime community right now is livid.
Oh my gosh.
I know I'm one of them, but still, so. But okay, so let's go back in track here. On starting on Monday, we do have the fashion avatar items for the fashion week, like Hoopa bangles available in the shop, so more avatars to get. And then other items will be available for a limited time on sale. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm sorry I'm yawning so much, guys. I'm tired. Yeah, I'm making him tired too just by doing that, but the Pokemon encounters that we're going to see, in addition to, of course, Furfura, we'll see the other ones in the wild. If you're lucky, you might encounter a Butterfree. I don't know if Shiny Butterfree is part of this anymore, so we'll see how it goes. Custom Pokemon's like...
An interesting one.
Yeah. Sneasel and Shinx will appear in 1-star raids. It does look like, and I actually heard this from the Laura podcast, they don't mention Sneasel to be part anywhere in the wild or in Research Breakthrough or anything like that, so it's a possibility it's only a raid exclusive Pokemon. We want to make sure that we clarify this because a lot of people think, oh, Sneasel is not spotted in the wild, how are we supposed to make a shiny Sneasel and all that. I'm like, did you read the blog post, guys? Things like that. Other Pokemon's Butterfree and Kyurem will appear in 3-star raids. Again, I feel like those... they did mention that you might encounter a Butterfree in the wild, so that's cool. So Kyurem, it's probably only going to be a raid exclusive Pokemon with their custom. Yeah. So the following Pokemons will be hatching from 7KX, Alola Meowth, Galera Meowth, Smooshum in a fashionable costume, and Shinx in a fashionable costume. So there's an argument to say that 7KX is okay, but the only Pokemon that I really care about is Galera Meowth. I mean...
This is interesting. Is it only hatching those 4 then? Because that's pretty good odds if it's only those 4.
I mean, usually...
If you're hunting one of those.
Right, so you don't have 1 in 4 chances to actually get something like that. That's not that a bad odds.
Interesting.
The question is, are they going to be all the same tier, or are there going to be 2 different tiers when it comes down to it?
Fair. I kind of like, too, that they're calling it fashionable costumes. Like, in the past, they just say, costume smoochum or something.
Right.
They're like, it's a fashionable costume.
Wearing that little boy tie or something, I don't know. And then Shinx with a hat, but, it's like, I don't need Shinx. If I get another shiny Shinx, I'm done with the collection here.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, he has like 6 shiny Shinxes that he's got. I think he traded 1.
Well, 7, and then I traded 1, so
7. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. For anybody who's actually just starting listening to us, that has been my 10k egg reward for literally the past year and a half. Actually, no, almost 2 years at this point, because the very first shiny Shinx that I got in since its release was during my birthday in GoFest in 2019.
I thought so.
And then after that, I've been hatching shiny Shinx like it's my goddamn job. So I'm like, I don't understand why you're doing this to me, Niantic, but
If you guys have them added, send them Shinx raids.
It also says right here, if you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny Shinx. I'm sorry, a shiny Butterfree, shiny Sneasel, shiny Smooshum, Kirlia, Shinx, Cognut, Blizzle. All wearing fashionable costumes. You may encounter shiny Blizzle without a costume after the fashion week has concluded, or of course you won't see Blizzle in the wild very often. So they even state that you're not gonna be able to see many Blizzles after the event ends, which is okay, I guess, because they will be spawning quite frequently during the event. The only problem is that you won't be able to evolve it until you get a regular shiny of Blizzle. So that's kind of like a double-edged sword when it comes down to it. Then we do have what everybody's expecting, the brand new form change mechanic coming into Pokemon Go. With the release of Furfur, this mechanic will also be implemented into the game. Okay. So, as you guys know, Furfur will have its natural trim when you catch it in the wild. You can select the Pokemon in your Pokemon storage by tapping Form Change to bring up a menu that lists the available trims. Select the trim, and then you want to select change it to, and then once you do, it will actually cost you 25 candy for Furfur and 10,000 Stardust for the change. And there's
why?
I guess you have something to say about this, Chris, and let's hear it.
Sounds like stupid. Why would it cost you 10,000 Stardust and 25 candy to cut your dog's hair?
Technically, it's more like putting paint on it, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan about that. Because I'm just looking to the future on this. I don't know if you'd be able to, but maybe they're going to let you, change Meloetta, Deoxys, maybe even Giratina in the future, even though that one normally would need like an item for it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is them, just testing things out before they put it on mythicals like that. But I don't know.
This is actually something that I've been thinking about the moment that actually the announcement went live. So, as many other forms will be more implemented into the Pokemon Go, we have Mega Pokemons, we have things like Giratina, Kyurem. There's just a list of Pokemons that has so many different forms of change. Even Generation 6 has the bug that actually changes forms depending on the region, So this is kind of similar to that, and it just makes sense to make it available this way. Now, I can agree that 10,000 Stardust, it's too much for a common Pokemon. Way too much for a common Pokemon. It shouldn't be that much. At best, for anything common, I can guess maybe a 1,000 Stardust limit for any common Pokemons like that.
Okay. Yeah, the 25 candy isn't a huge problem, only because Furfur doesn't evolve.
Right.
So I can kind of see that, but yeah, 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a hoarder. I don't know.
I mean,
10,000 seems like a lot for just a form change.
That's what I'm saying. Now, just like you said, I feel like they're also testing the waters for future updates to this mechanic. It's a possibility that this will trigger down to the other Pokemons that also have form change. Now, again, anything base value or common value Pokemons like Furfur or the bug changing form or something similar to that, I feel like the Stardust should be reduced no matter what. But because this is a brand new mechanic, they want to test it out and see how people will really react to it. It's not like we're gonna be able to, of course, go to any of the places to do all the change forms and everything, but it still makes sense, that they want to introduce something that's it's available to us. Now, I also heard another podcast, and shout out to the GoCast for mentioning all of this. Some of the form changes for a lot of the Pokemons are based on battles, based on megas, based on many different things. Now, to give a couple of examples, because there is like a buttload of Pokemons that actually have different changing forms. Some notables, let's say in Generation 7, whenever it comes out, we have Wishy-Washy. Now, Wishy-Washy is a Pokemon that changes forms depending on its HP. It's a school form when it's in full HP or 50% or above 50%. Anything below that, it becomes a regular Wishy-Washy. Things like that. How are they going to implement something that makes sense in those change forms? Other Pokemons, just like Giratina, has a form change depending on the item it's holding in the main series games. Here we have it in two different forms, and of course one of them, actually both of them are permanent in both Ultra League and Master League. So depending on how they want to implement that into other forms and to other Pokemons will depend on how this mechanic actually changes the way that we see form changing. Now, there are a few that they mentioned that I was a little bit worried, and this is the difference between a form change and a fusion. Now, fusion Pokemons, just like Kyurem, Sekrom, and the other one, I can't even remember his name anymore.
Reshiram?
Reshiram, yeah. They fuse together to bring one Pokemon out of the two. So, and in the end of the day, it's a Kyurem Black, Kyurem White when it comes down to it. So, how is that going to work? Two different Pokemon to form one Pokemon. How are the stats going to change the Pokemon, and how the IVs matter and CP value matter in that sense? I don't think the form mechanic that we're being implemented right now really puts into perspective of how we're going to be using it in like PvP wise and things like that. Because Kyurem in his other forms, once it fuses with Sekrom and Reshiram, either one of them, becomes really, really, really powerful. So
yeah, I can't really see us getting fusions like that, or the ones with like Solgaleo, Lunala, and Necrozma.
Right.
Unless we get them already fused.
But that means they will implement that into raids.
Yeah,
there's no other way they would think about doing it.
That's the only way I can see it coming fast.
Right.
Because other than that, they'd need to have another button on the, in my opinion, on the Pokemon search screen, like a fuse button or something,
right.
And then you can choose the Pokemon you want to fuse.
But that's what I'm saying. There's so many things that changes the mechanic of a Pokemon, not just by changing its form, but fusing it with other things. Even Greninja has a form change, but that would probably depend on the ability to, battle bond it and become Ash Greninja, just like they call it. And there's other Pokemons as well that change form depending on the condition. We have seen, the implementation that Niantic has put it on Pokemon Go, just like Cherrim. Cherrim just depends on the weather, technically, but you can catch either one of them, and it stays that way no matter what. Same with Castform. Castform has a form change.
Yeah.
Only available through the weather, and that is actually pretty cool, but you only stays in that sense. And then, of course, the shiny form has been released that way, too, which is the very first type, too. So, it's just a lot to go about it. I think this is the beginning, the foundation of something when it comes down to it. If they're thinking of changing something in the future that changes the value, CP, HP, CP value, all of those things, when depending on the Pokemon that you have or the other Pokemon that you're gonna have, I don't know. It feels like the beginning of something cool, but we're still not there yet, and this is just testing the waters for the future.
I think if they change anything about form changes. I'm really glad you brought up Castform, because they could change it so it depends on the weather if you want to change it to different cast forms. Right. So, like, say you got a rainy one, but you want it to be a sunny because it's got amazing PvP stats. Maybe you got to wait till sunny weather and you get a chance to change the form. I would really like that. I think that would be really cool.
I think so too. But again, it just really depends on how they want to implement those kind of things. One more notable mention in this, it's Genesect, Silvally, and Arceus. All three of them depend on the item they're supposed to be holding to change its typing and its move to that typing. So I don't know how they're going to implement that too, because if we're going to have literally a year's worth of Arceus, then I better just not play this game anymore. So So I don't know. I don't know. There's just so many things. Even the Oxus has a change form, and we already seen that they like giving us one form and then not the other as a shiny or things like that. So I don't know. There's so much to go about it. We can go on literally for another podcast entirely about form changing and implementing what other Pokemon already. Now, it's needless to say that it will trickle down to other Pokemons in the end, because just like when we had trading and how some Pokemons required to trade to have less candies to evolve, and that trickled down to like Gengar and Machamp and things like that, or Pokemons like that. We know that at least the mechanic can be implemented to previous Pokemons that didn't have that type of mechanic before, and it could happen now thanks to the ability of that brand new mechanic in the other day. So it's not uncommon, but it's a lot different when it comes to changing the stats of a Pokemon, So that's all really I gotta say about that. But of course, that's also Fashion Week. There's definitely some interesting stuff here that will change the perspective of how we play the game once again, and what they are thinking, hopefully, for the future of this game, because there's just so much about it when it comes down to it. So, but yeah, yep. All right, I think that we have almost all the news updated. Now, I also want to actually mention the Pokemon Go 5th anniversary video, which they posted a couple of days ago. I was recording this podcast. It just shows, all the adventures that we as Pokemon Go players have had for literally 5 years. And I love the video. I wish I could show it to you guys. If you're not in a live stream, I'm definitely wanting to play it, but it's like almost over a 2-minute video. And I don't want to just put audio over the podcast. So if you want to watch it, go to the Pokemon Go website or go to even YouTube and type in Pokemon Go 5th anniversary video. You'll see the video. You'll see that many different things. Technically, there are so many pictures from the previous Go Fest. So I know there's one picture from Go Fest that is there. So I'm definitely there, but I'm like a tiny little piece in the picture. So yeah, I'm famous guy. Anyway. But no, there's just many different videos. It includes a lot of different content creators from all over the world. Notable mention was, of course, will be Mystic 7, Trainer Tips, Zoe 2 Dots, all the ones that we know and love. And we definitely love how they put together this video. Hopefully, this game can go on for way many years than just 5 years. So here's hopeful for this game just being a forever game in the end of the day. But you never know.
Yeah, it's a very nostalgic video.
Yeah.
I do think they put a lot of hard work into it too. It was very beautiful.
Yeah, very, 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 very good. But yeah, just definitely check it out. But that's really all about that we have on the news section, at least. But we do have a little bit of PvP section. Get good, get wrecked. Here we go, Chris.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right, Chris. So we had Go Battle Day. I can't believe I actually said day. Yesterday, what did we learn?
I learned that my team is all right. It's not good, but it's all right.
Did you get your ELO yet?
Yes. I think I'm sitting at about 2,300 right now, which isn't like crazy.
That's not bad though.
Yeah. I'm hoping that I do not fall when it comes to Master League. As long as I stay about the same in Ultra League, I'm fine. Because there's way too many. In my opinion, it's kind of hard to cover all the legendaries and the extra large Pokemon right now.
We are in Ultra Remix and Ultra Regular, right? So we don't have Premier this time around. Ugh.
Yeah. So I have not been touching Remix at all. I've only been touching Open. My team currently is Articuno, Altered Form Giratina, and Talonflame in the back. I know how to play it pretty well. The only real problem is usually when they have a Melmetal League. And that's pretty scary. But yeah, I'd say extra larges have really changed the meta for Ultra League. You know, like if people could grind them, then they definitely have them. You know, level 50 Pidgeots, Best Buddied, Stunfisk, Galvantula. Talonflame's like a staple since it had a calm day. You know, like everyone has them. There's a reason I've been running. It's pretty good. But yeah, not much else I can say. You know, if you really want to do well in Ultra League, I feel like you kind of got to have at least one extra large on your team. You know.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to just XL Pokemons, it's just insane how it's changed the meta entirely. It's not to say that we know that extra large Pokemons, you know, you don't need them when it comes down to it. You can always play it out with Pokemons that do get to that point in level, but the tankiness of a lot of the XL Pokemons, Umbreon, Drifloon, I don't know, just to name a few, when it comes down to it, it's just so overpowered over the ones that are just level 40 or close to level 40 in that sense. So it hasn't been too bad for probably you and I, Chris, because you know we grind for the extra large candy when we can, for permanent Pokemons that we can get. But there's just a lot of people that the accessibility to do Go Battle League is so low that I wish that we just have a ranking for people who are under level 40 or something similar, so they can only do one set of league battles or something like that, you know?
I really wish too that they had like a different league open, like a great league with a different meta, kind of like Little Cup or something. You know, I know Little Cup's only 500 CP, but like that's not a good example. Like Halloween Cup or something. I always like it when they have something available for people that don't have a lot of Stardust.
Right.
I mean, you could argue that there's a bunch of Great League Pokemon that need a lot of Stardust. But yeah, I don't think the accessibility difference is as great as it is trying to power up a Pokemon to 2,500. Yeah. Or for Master League, you really want to get up there. So, I mean, I do applaud them for still like giving us a classic Master League, you know, for the people that don't have the availability of extra large candy, especially the people under level 40 that want to compete. You know, they need to make it so people can just, you know, join the game and start Go Battle League in like less than a month, you know.
And I feel like maybe they are working on it, but we haven't seen many good updates into Go Battle League or into anything ranking seasons when it comes to Go Battle League or anything like that, because the CP levels technically is the only thing that makes this game competitive. And having it between 1,500, 2,500 or no CP limit kinda doesn't work for a lot of people, and I always been worried about that when it comes to like brand new listeners. Like I have a friend who is also my coworker too, who just started playing the game back again. He's definitely just level 30 since his return, so he doesn't have the ability to get extra large candies. He doesn't have the ability to raid all the time. He's been hanging with me over the community day, but he's not the type of grinder. He likes to see just Pokédex entries, new shinies, new things, and things like that. So when it comes to Go Battle League, he only goes like one and done and never actually thinks about doing anything more than that. And of course, that would be the more casual player in that regard. But let's say he wants to really grind out and really be like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can get into I don't know, close to Legends and get this cool stuff happening for me or something like that, you know. The rewards that technically Go Battle League has. But the accessibility for him is probably a Heracross and 2 Legendaries. That's really much about it when it comes down to it in his storage. But that's because he never really gets the chance to raid as much as possible. He doesn't get the chance to really go out. He plays the game, casually as it is, but he plays the game as much as he wants to. But that's just trickling down to other casual players that will never see the light of day if they want to go anything above and beyond unless they really grind out the game. So, I don't know. It's my own train of thought on that, so maybe Niantic will work on it eventually. Please, Niantic. But yeah, that's basically it on that. Now, factions, Chris. What updates you got for me this week and for everybody else?
All right. Yeah, Switchmasters. We started fighting Ghost Pepper Dunspice this week. Very, very good battles. We actually felt like we had a really, really good chance versus the teams that they had. Looking at my team versus TJ Buckets, I thought I had a pretty good standing. The problem is when you see something like Bastiodon on the other team, you really feel like you have to line your team up properly versus something like that, you know. So I was very scared if I didn't get like the exact lead I wanted, but yeah, I ended up going 1-2 versus TJ Buckets. Very, very awesome battles, honestly. Like every single battle was a nail biter.
Mm-hmm.
I think the second one was probably the best one. We had some really good 3-0s from our team. They had some really good 3-0s on their team. But yeah, they ended up winning 12-9. So very close. But yeah, we ended up losing this bout, sadly. But I think we still have more for this season. And then I expect us to move up in the rankings after this one.
Right.
Which is cool. And then next season, I expect us to do better.
Wonderful.
And also, we actually got I guess we were good enough because we were able to get sponsored by 8-Bit Ape. So I was pretty excited to hear about that. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a good week.
Good.
All in all, despite losing.
Ah, well.
Yeah.
You gotta win some, you gotta lose some. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game. So, but hey, I mean, if you don't learn from it, you know, you never know what you can be good against other people.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it's actually going to be the end of the podcast because we ain't got nothing else to talk about.
Oh.
I know it's kind of saddening that we have a little shorter podcast any other day, but hopefully, more news come around. We're technically 2 weeks before the month ends, and we're definitely going to see that dump of news for October somewhere close to the end of this week or maybe the beginning of next week. I definitely think that's going to be the case. But of course, next month, Halloween time, ghost time, all those things.
Best events.
Hopefully, best event. You never know. But yeah, that's going to be interesting when it comes down to it. Let's speculate what else to see. Of course, the only event that we know of next month is the Community Day, of course. But that's not as exciting as anything else these days, anyways. But you know. I'm also going to say that I am so close for the next level achievement. I am at 21 out of 25 in my experience grind to level 49. I do have to finish up the last quest, which means obtain 50 lucky trades, Pokemon in trades. So I gotta finish that, and hopefully within the next few, I want to say maybe I'll give it another 2 or 3 weeks if I grind it out completely, but I don't know. I really, really, really want to get to level 49 sometime by the end of October if I can. But I don't know if my experience grind is going to be that great. During Community Day, I did earn over 2 million experience for sure. So that was actually pretty nice. I started around 19,700, so I know I definitely earned at least almost close to 3 million. So I'm happy with that. I wish I could have gotten to the full 25, but again, getting excellent shows on some Pokemons are never that easy. Especially for 6-time experience. But yeah, again, that is the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you like it, make sure you listen us to also, once again, in our podcast services fees. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all those places. If you can leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. That expands our range of people who will listen to us, so that'd be awesome. You can also check us out on our social media. Myself at PureLighterGo, Chris at PKMN, Trigger, please, at Twitter, of course. And then you also can email us at thepurifiedpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to check us out at theprofessornetwork.com or thepurifiedpodcast.com for any other stuff related to the podcast. But with that being said, I think, Chris, you can go ahead and take us away for the night.
All right. Hope you guys did a amazing job on your comm day. A little bit better than me, took it nice and easy. But yeah, hope you guys are looking forward to the next comm day, even though it's not going to be a new shiny. It should be a fun one, to spend with all your friends and family. But yeah, see you guys out there. See you guys next week. And yeah, let's get some news for you guys next week. Peace.
Keep purifying them. We'll see you guys next time.